This is the 188th episode of CloudFocus Weekly for the last week of August 2014. This episode is titled Warmest Winter Ever. Do you want to wow your customers? Well, sign up now for the upcoming webinar entitled Wowing the Customer with Salesforce for Service. It will be on September 9th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to brighttalk.com, that's brighttalk.com, and search for Wowing, W-O-W-I-N-G, to register. You'll find it there. I'm your host here, and co-hosting on that webinar will be, and co-hosting here today, Justin Elstein. Justin, how are you doing today?
Oh, thank you.
That was
if
tough.
you were gonna get to me, or
that was tough to move between that
through there, but very well done. I like the new intro promo. I will be speaking during that.
That's what I said,
and should be a good time.
That's our rotating promo spot.
Yes,
where we put in
rotates.
all sorts of. Where soon enough, Safe Harbor. We'll be promoting for probably a good month and a half our new app, which you've been madly working on this week.
Oh man, this
Lots
was a
of
big.
updates.
This was a big week for a good sprint this week.
Yes, it was. I've been seeing the updates, and it's good. I still love that we have the logo done, and we have the Dreamforce booth done, and the app not done. That's opening up behind the curtains.
You know what though? It's totally demo ready.
Oh yeah. We'll be able to demo it. So come see us. Speaking of that, speaking of Dreamforce, speaking of our new product, our secret new product that we're going to launch at Dreamforce, come see us. Booth N1032. That's in the North Hall, 1032. We're on the corner, kind of on the side there. Should be a good spot right down the aisle. And if you're looking for a way to save $100 off the $1 billion registration, use code EC14 Arkus. That's EC14 ARKUS at checkout, and you can save $100 off registration, which is now $335,000.
No,
it's like $14.99 or $12.99.
It's the regular price. It was like $12.99 or $13.99.
I actually had someone ask me for it today.
I've had people ask me for it
Literally,
over and over and over.
Oh,
again.
really? Because someone asked me, said,
clients.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're thinking about going. Do you have a promo code? Of course I do. Here it is.
Partner ask me.
Partners should have their own.
They're not
exhibiting?
They're not exhibiting.
Kind
of like that a partner is going to use our code to register. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right. Well, speaking of funny things, let's talk about the agenda.
Yep.
That's the best Segui ever. We have our blog du jour, which has absolutely nothing to do about our main topic, but we'll discuss it anyway.
Won't do that.
It's kind of...
It has to do with our... No, it doesn't really have to do with that.
Not really.
Okay.
And then we're going to talk about the Winter 15 pre-release notes. You have read them. I have read them. You have written your blog post, which will be up next week, which is your rapid reaction.
Should go up early next week.
Oh, you put it up when you want to put it up.
Well, I got to wait for some people to read it.
You can go up Monday.
I can put it up now if you want.
No,
but I'd be breaking protocol.
I
don't want to break the protocol.
Don't break blogging protocol.
Don't do it, or the blog master, that's me, will get on you. I will get on myself.
I did have a client. I wrote,
do what I want.
Well, actually, this goes right into our the blog post that went up this week. I was actually on the call with somebody, and we were talking about this topic, and I said, "Oh, I just written a blog post about it." And then as they're talking, and they kind of went off on different paths, I was like, "Oh, I should just go publish this now." So I published it on the blog while we were on the call, and then sent them the link to it after the call.
Funny that you did that this week, because I did the same thing. Our blog is becoming a nice resource for our own clients, because one of our clients, I was talking to them about system administrator duties.
Yeah.
And he was asking me about, the connection between a production environment and a sandbox environment, and
I got a blog for that.
How to deploy things between the two. And I was like, you know what? I literally just wrote like a decent sized or lengthy blog post about that exact topic. So why don't I just send you the link and I'll talk to you a little bit about it, but you can read what I'm just going to tell you what I already wrote. You can read it whenever you want, and
I've done that a lot.
I think the clients appreciate that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think now it's been 4 years of blogging.
A lot of years of
That's
blogging.
like over 200 blogs. So
I was looking at the stats the other day. Like, still the most popular blog post is I think it was the cross-object workflow blog post.
Do you know what the most popular podcast is this year?
This year?
Yeah.
No, I don't. What was the most popular?
What is work.com?
Really?
Yeah, work.com
That's
episode.
popular
Just
podcast?
by a far. I was checking out the stats the other day. So, well, that's a whole bunch of stuff that maybe no one cares about. But the blog post this week available on blog.arkusinc.com, where all these blog posts, again, going all the way back to the history, we actually, all of our posts, no matter how old they are, all stay up on our website. We don't take them down. So they're always there for you. There's another one this week called Core Banking Integration with Salesforce.com. And this was written by me personally. I'm doing a lot of work in the integration space. And so I wrote one out about sort of, again, it's sort of like talking about, neuroscience. So it's kind of hard to blog it, put something into a blog. But I put a lot of tips and things you should consider and, going on this theme that obviously you've seen me start to blog about. Justin has me on a blogging track that is a banking blogging track. So this one's sort of the next in the series for core banking integration with Salesforce. So really talking about, again, taking banking, for those that aren't in the banking, all that stuff you do when you have your money deposited and balances and ATMs and online, it all goes to something called a banking core, which is the software that runs it all. Usually very proprietary software. Actually, it's
not
only
really for
not
managing,
proprietary, but there's
not really for managing relationships with clientele.
Right.
More for let me get this data in and open this account and
much
keep
more
track of.
It's very account specific.
Yeah, very.
So using Salesforce in conjunction with it and integrating with Salesforce can lead to a lot of power and relationship management and all this great stuff. So anyway, you can go read that. We're not going to go too much into that because it's a hefty read. Although it's a big blog post. Wrote it a week early. I was giving everybody a chance to read it.
You gave a lot of options. You didn't give all the options, but you gave a decent set of options and things to think about. It's a good. While it's hefty, it's still up at the surface level. It doesn't dive too deep.
Right.
So it's not as to not like make your eyes spin.
Right.
It's definitely, for even a business analyst, read this, you kind of get the idea of it.
Get some of the concepts. And get sort of, there's a couple specifics in there. But anyway, let's move on. That's on the blog.arkusinc.com. Again, there's a whole series. I think even from this one, I linked to the others. So calculating bank customer profitability in Salesforce, referral management, automatic householding. I linked them all at the bottom.
Yeah.
So
your next one is going to stay on the track, but we're going to mix it in with Dreamforce.
Oh, you really? Because I was thinking about doing a Winter 15 one on banking.
No.
No. I'll have to talk to the blog master.
You're talking to him right now.
Well, I'll have to talk to him again.
You've already got one. And it's about Dreamforce.
I'll have to fire that blog master.
You couldn't if you tried.
All right, so let's talk about Winter 15.
Yes.
I keep saying it's 14.
15. Onward. It's August, and we're talking about 2015.
Oh, man. It seems a little bit... I feel like I just got over summer 14.
You know what? The release cycle got really screwy this year with spring.
Oh, you want to talk about Spring 14?
Nope. I don't want to talk about Spring 14. I don't want to talk about banners in Summer 14.
Turning those stupid things off. Sorry.
You know what? I don't turn them off.
You don't? You leave them on? You're
it's
a nasty
not my
person.
Responsibility.
Oh, I turn them off. I literally say, I'm sorry, I'm turning them off.
I don't. I say, you might want to turn these off. Here's how to do it. And I don't do it. Maybe they want them on.
Nope.
I would never just turn that off.
Turn it off.
Nope. I no.
If I see it on, I feel like they don't know where it is.
I turn it off for me.
Oh, yeah, for us.
I don't want to see it. Like, No, like I hit the X.
Oh, but I don't know.
I then tell them.
This is
like,
the thing.
here's
I
the
don't
thing.
know what the logic behind those banners are. That just hitting the X, I don't know if that turns anything off.
It turns it off for you.
Does it?
It's supposed to. That's
You
what the
sure?
release notes had said about it.
Would turn you off for you forever, or just
Yeah.
until they want to show you another banner?
I think forever. That's what the release notes had said. You
Forever?
can dismiss it and it sticks.
For how long?
Maybe not. I don't know.
Think about it. If I'm the one pushing banners to you, it's like going to a website and saying, "Oh, I don't want to
You
see
know
an
what?
ad."
Hey, I don't know why I allowed this to happen. Winter 15.
Spring 14
No
was terrible.
banners. No
I'll keep
banners.
going back.
Winter 15. Hey, why don't I start it off?
Yeah, so you've written a blog post.
I have.
It is not
It's
published
not
yet.
up, but
When
I'll-
will it be published? Monday?
Oh,
Monday's
maybe-
Labor Day.
No, but that's a good Monday task for me. Like, I'd rather just get that out of the way.
Let's say it'll be up by Tuesday.
I need to give people time to read it. I did give them early time to read it. You've read it. So, I went through and as always, just sort of gave a rapid reaction to the pre-release notes.
Right.
I did make mention of the fact that I read them purely in the HTML format.
Yes.
So I did not download the PDF. I actually downloaded the PDF just to get the image of the little guy ice
fisherman.
fishing.
Yes.
Which I voted for that in the community.
Oh,
I really
nice.
liked that one.
Yeah, by the way, if you don't know this, you can vote for all those.
Yeah, and they're not doing it in ideas anymore. They're doing it in the community
With
in
votes,
the success in the Salesforce success community as a poll.
Yep.
So they post all the pictures and then you get to vote on it. It's really cool. I voted for this one, so I was glad to see that happen.
Don't remember what I voted for, but
That was
okay.
the only reason why I even downloaded them. So I've been enjoying the HTML version. I read them completely on the HTML version. I like how I can really very quickly jump around between all the different sections. So I'll just throw that out there. I mentioned it in my blog post I think this is like the first one where it's been like totally GA, pre-release, everything's in HTML now.
Right. It usually comes
You
in
can
HTML.
go back. You can go back,
but it comes later.
Yeah, you can go back 4 releases from the page. It has
Right.
a little drop down like which one do you want to go to. But this is the first one where it's like truly GA. Pre-release notes are in HTML. They're out like this first, and here's where you download the PDF from if you want to.
Right.
So that was cool.
I'm still old school. Download, throw it on my iPad. I guess old school because I'm download, throw it on my iPad Mini and read it on my iPad
That's
Mini.
pretty old school. If you
Yeah, it
ask me.
is.
That's so 1 year ago. So
Well, it's better for
there's-
in the subway.
There's a
like coming
couple of
today.
features in here that that I had mentioned. I don't normally do this, but there were a couple really exciting ones that were beta features. So I decided to mention those as ones that I really harped on in my rapid reaction. So I'll just throw one out there: duplicate management.
This is, I mean,
It's enormous.
this is
It's
the
been
big
asked-
feature.
It's been to me this was the feature of the release.
they could have
right?
called this Winter 15.
the duplicate.
Wait, hold on.
Reducer.
Duplicate Soldier.
Yeah, whatever.
So good.
So for years, right, we've been relying on third-party tools to do both batch reconciliation
Right.
of duplicates,
Merging and things like that, like
things of that
CloudDingo.
nature. CloudDingo and CRM
Demand
Fusion
tools,
with
right.
demand tools and with Dupe Blocker
Yep.
to do real time. So we've had Dupe Blocker. So both of those companies have both of the products, like
Right.
Dupe Blocker and something else, and then CloudDingo and demand tools. They're an add-on, right? They cost money, and then there's plenty of other tools out there
Right.
that do the same thing, but those are to me the more popular ones.
And this always felt like a feature that Salesforce was missing.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean they had kind of like the semblance of it, right? They had the merge, they had the find duplicates button on leads,
Right.
that did some rudimentary finding of dupes against lead and against contact, so it had like a multi-table thing.
Yep.
But now you get to go in and you get to set up rules as an administrator for finding duplicates based on certain criteria. And then you get to, when that rule fires, you get to say the behavior. So do you just completely block it?
Right.
Or do you allow the person to save the record anyway?
Right.
So you get some flexibility and some options, which is nice for a beta feature to come out with flexibility like that. Like I'm sure they're just going to keep adding to this and making it better. I think they will. There was
they will.
mention of like leveraging data.com to help with this down the line. I don't think this is the end of this feature. I don't think this is a checkbox. I think this is something that will roll out. We'll get a little better over the next release when it goes GA. We'll get finely tuned in the next release, and then it will be. I think this is a winter beta, spring. And then summer, it gets completely finely tuned, and then from there, it's sort of coasting.
Oh, I totally agree that it's in beta, so it's obviously going to get better. It's not going to be beta and then that's it. I think it'll get the next one, but this feature has every earmark of being one of the checkbox features, meaning they will put it out, it'll do what it does, and it'll do it well, and then they will stop. And you look back on it like quotes. Or, I mean, I'm trying to think of like two others that I can think of that, like, they just stopped. There's nothing new coming to it. It's like, we do it. Well, I guess, here's one, mass email.
Well, that's an old
thing. But it's a checkbox feature.
It is a checkbox feature.
Right?
Sure.
Because I think, well, there's two things. Salesforce doesn't want to piss off. That's not explicit, is it?
No, that's
I'll weep that out. All
that's fine.
I think piss on would be expressive.
No, I don't think so either.
So Salesforce doesn't want to, it's Friday, kids. Salesforce doesn't want to piss off all of their App Exchange partners. Some of the big ones that do this. I mean, these are the area that I feel like there's a lot in there. They're very popular. I find them in a lot of orgs I go into. It's like, we downloaded, installed this, the free ones, whatever.
Yep.
I think they needed something because it's one of those. This is that conversation we had the other day about licensing costs and how the license cost of Salesforce, the retail version of Salesforce has never gone down. And never gone up that I know of. I literally don't think it's changed since as far as I can remember. So part of the way they do that is obviously putting on new features and putting in things that people, might have paid for otherwise, and so they feel like they're getting more and more value. Definitely something I get from clients and prospects like, well, why doesn't it do that? And I'm like, well, and I usually say, well, here's why it's so difficult, and what makes something unique, and blah blah blah. I'm glad it's going to be in there because it'll be like, sure, you want that? Turn it on. You want better than this? Kind of like mass email, although mass email at this point is terribly old. You want better than this? You want crazy? You want merging? You want post stuff? Great. Here's 17 tools that'll do it. Yep. But until then, this is a great feature. I'm very excited.
Real-time dupe prevention on the platform. Hopefully, we'll interact with API stuff, right? Like, how does it handle when you're doing integrations? Does it bypass? Does it allow for those things to just come in? Does it break? Because I know the third-party tools allow like checkbox type of things, like anything coming in from web to lead, for example. Just let it in or don't. One or the
if you're an ISV at this point,
to think about. With
you better be
prevention.
Testing this a lot.
Yes.
Thankfully, I don't think we have anything that builds this stuff. Anyway,
no.
Can I mention what I think sort of took over on a lot of these pages, but I think is one of those hidden things. I don't know if people really get it.
We just talk about real quick. Sorry, the limit. This is a beta, so it works for now on accounts, contacts, leads. So the things you think immediately it should work on. Does not include person accounts at the moment. So person accounts being left behind.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Wait, look at my face. Look at my face. What's on it?
Your blank stare.
So is it surprise?
No.
Oh, no surprise.
It's an I told you so moment that we can't really
told you so
necessarily talk about. But
I can talk about person accounts always being left behind.
We can say that, certainly.
Yes.
We were told they wouldn't be. But they're being left behind.
I don't know if we were told they wouldn't be in this, but we've been told.
We were told feature parity.
Within a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
Not to be disclosed. Moving on.
Moving right along. So anyway, soon enough, I imagine you'll be able to block dupes on other kinds of records if you had a custom recruit record, for example. We'll see what happens with that as well.
Right. Or nope, stop.
Oh,
jeez.
Hard. Very difficult.
It is very difficult.
We know too much.
I'm going to stare at the release notes and only talk about
the release notes.
Well, here's something.
I'm going to talk about one that is that I'm going to stop at a certain point.
Okay, I'm going to start talking about things that are in the release notes that I just downloaded 2 seconds ago, which I think is actually awesome.
What are you talking about?
Event log files.
From our friend Adam Torman.
So Adam Torman, one of the brainchild children and or grandfather of the permissioner, and permission sets, or ran the group. I don't know. He was deep in that, ran the product group that came up with permission sets. He's now gone off to do other stuff, and event log files, which is the ability to get log files very raw at this point. And again, we'll see what actually comes out. But but of all the events that are happening in Salesforce. So what do you call user activities as an event? Usage of reports is events. I'm trying to give us some others.
While you're doing that, knowing
API calls.
Knowing Adam, this is an API first.
Oh yeah.
Type of build.
It might be an API only.
Be an API only thing, and I know Safe Harbor that he is presenting on this topic at Dreamforce in 2 sessions. One is a ISV geeky, let's show you what you could build type of session, and the other one is more of a intro to session. So if you're interested in this type of reporting and logging and auditing, look for Adam Torman's sessions at Dreamforce, because he'll be talking about this feature quite a bit.
Transitional logs, log in, log out history, user history, reporting. I mean, there's a lot in there.
Yeah.
Which, again, we even had a client the other day asking about this, and I was like, Safe Harbor, I think this is coming.
You kind of then need to either build something on top of it or wait for an ISV to come along to visualize this data appropriately.
If it's API, then you could use the data loader and grab it. I mean,
maybe, presumably.
I think it was API first. Anyway, I'm very excited about that. I think
maybe some workbench action.
Maybe. It's just lots of different stuff. I think this comes up, as an administrator, it comes up all the time. In fact, I had someone ask me today about the setup audit log. How long is the setup audit log for?
6 months.
6 months, that's correct.
You have to download it.
You have to download it. That's correct.
I know these things.
It's one of those things. And it's pretty good, but it's really not that in-depth.
No. It's like this person did this.
Right.
A lot of it's reset their password or invalid, whatever.
Logged in as this user.
Right.
So very excited about that. Great job. Can't wait to see the ISVs go crazy with it.
Where do I want to go next?
I don't know. Pick another one.
I was going to go off my blog post, but now I'm going off blog posts.
Go off blog posts.
All right. So this is one that's pretty, it's here. It's in the release notes. Doesn't even say pilot, beta, nothing. Access external data with Salesforce One Platform Connect.
Okay.
I didn't write about this in my blog post because there's not a whole lot here. But basically, these are what you might call external objects. So this is the ability to do real-time data integration and being able to visualize the data in a very quote-unquote Salesforcean way as child or grandchild objects, parent objects, lookup relationships to data inside of Salesforce without the data living inside of Salesforce.
Right.
Which means you can see related, a related list of data that doesn't actually and is not stored in Salesforce. So if you're looking at a record, maybe an account, you can see sales orders. This is the example that they're using in the release notes. A sales orders related list with, a record ID that you can click on, which has a page layout, which shows fields. And you can actually view that data from an external system in a very Salesforce way without the data actually being in Salesforce, which is very, very powerful, right? You have lookup relationships, page layouts, related lists, some very, very interesting possibilities with this. Now, I don't want to go too far into it because it stays pretty high level in this version of the release notes. There's nothing really that talks about it. It's all being done in real-time web service callouts, right? So there's nothing that really talks about being able to report on them or search on them.
Wouldn't think so either.
Now, my guess is that you're going to be able to do that stuff.
Well, but it has to be either it's real-time pulling in and searching on it, or it's sitting in Salesforce, which I think is the whole point of this. Is the data's not
it's
sitting
not
in Salesforce.
sitting in Salesforce, but I think it's going to be able to do that stuff. This is speculation.
You have to index it, though, to search on it.
All speculation. I don't know how it's going to actually work.
But
just being able to see
let's
it,
theorize. As someone who knows search, in order to
Yeah.
search, you need to have an index of the things you're searching. You either
Yes.
do that by grabbing the files and grabbing the data and indexing it yourself and searching off the index, or in real time with keyword X, searching through your index and then making a call out to other service and searching through their index and pulling back data and putting them together. It's only really two ways to do it. Yep, that's it.
Yeah.
All right, I have one that is...
But isn't that an interesting feature?
Yeah. I kind of need to see it in practice. I need to see, like, sales orders. It's always sales orders. I need to see something like, show me something. I can think of some examples. I have to dig in to kind of figure out how it works, how it looks, how it, it's like one of those I think I can get my hands on and then I get excited about.
I think at Dreamforce, I'm going to want to attend a session on this particular topic.
Sessions. Can't go to any sessions.
Yes.
Here's one that did come out, but didn't come out. I could have sworn came out, but is back.
It's back.
Add custom lookup fields on activities. Beta.
Beta.
I guess it was in pilot last time.
Must have been.
Yeah. So this is this is one of those limiters on activities that people don't think about. On any account, contact, opportunity, object, you can add a lookup field to something else, custom objects to itself to another thing. It's great. You go to an activity and you say, "Ooh, I want to throw a custom lookup relationship field to something else," and it goes, "Nope." So this is in beta. This is pretty cool. I know a lot of customers and people and friends of the podcast will be happy with this. It's in beta, which I think in Salesforce safe harbor terminology means it's one release away.
Pretty much.
I think beta gives you one release, right? It's beta now, and then it'll be general available.
Not necessarily. There were things that were sitting in beta forever.
Opportunity splits. Wasn't that in beta for like 2 years?
Field sets sat in beta for a long time, at least a year.
I wish here's a Salesforce. I wish Salesforce made the signing up for and getting into beta programs a little bit easier.
Beta's easy. Beta you get. Pilot you have to really try.
Well,
and
beta
get
you
into.
don't.
Beta you just have to
Here's
turn
the thing.
it on. Or
I wish there was a place in Salesforce in the setup where it lists like in Google, like Google Labs. You go in and it would list off the betas that you could turn on. That would be cool.
Okay.
Well, wouldn't that be neat? Because right now, how do you turn them on?
I think they're on. Beta's just you get it.
They're in the org?
I believe so.
I think so. I think beta you still have to ask
I think
for.
Pilot is the one that you need to actually
Well, if
ask
they're on,
for.
they're on then.
That's what I feel like.
Do you want one? I have a couple more I'm very excited about.
Are you?
Yeah.
Well, I have a couple that I would like to talk about.
Go.
So here's one. I want to talk about this just because I want to plug the permissioner, which is kind of a bad reason to talk about it. But anyway, delegated administrators can now assign permission sets.
That's cool.
So for a delegated administrator, you can specify which permission sets that set of delegated administrators can assign to users in specific roles and subordinate roles. So, how delegated administration kind of works a little weird where you can manage people sort of in this little area.
Yep.
So now you can delegate permission set assignment tasks while maintaining strict control over which permission sets delegated administrators can actually assign. I say that all to come back around to the permissioner, which actually allows a delegated administrator to do this anyway.
Right.
You just can't do the restriction piece of it. They can only do these. You can't do that with the permissioner. But if you have the ability to use the permissioner, you can actually go ahead and assign out permission sets to whomever, no matter who you are. So I figured I'd throw that one in there and throw in the fact that there's being some real delegated administrator functionality being given here, which I think is proliferated from stuff that came in summer, which split out the manage user permissions into 5 or 6 separate permissions, which was necessary and needed. So now this is the next step, because delegated administration hasn't been touched in a really long time.
As long as mass email?
Probably not.
No, mass email is
don't
way
know.
older.
I can think of other things like
Have you ever-
case escalation rules. Those are pretty horrible to deal with.
Have you ever even read in a release note mass email even getting touched?
No, they're not going to touch. I mean, especially now with the acquisition of ExactTarget, they're not investing in that thing.
No, that
maybe that'll be the thing. They'll be like, mass email now gets delivered through the ExactTarget service for better deliverability.
I feel like mass email is going to be one of those things that they'll just split out and there'll be mass email for free, and hopefully they'll build a very good ExactTarget integration. I mean, really, really native, not, I don't want to slam any not native products of Salesforce's, but there are some that just don't really work well within Salesforce. That's the way I can see it. They'll leave that for the 100, 200 little blasts, but it works and does its job. But it is so antiquated at this point. All right, I got another one. Speaking of antiquated things,
go for it.
More streamlined look for the rich text editor.
All right.
First of all, I don't like rich text fields.
Okay.
I basically I think that they're, I don't know. I think they should be avoided at all costs unless you absolutely need them. Meaning you need rich text, meaning bullets and bolds and pictures. Great. Otherwise, stay away from them. They're cumbersome. They're hard to get in and out of. They don't have native spell checking into them because browsers don't like them. So they don't think that they can do spell checking in them. They don't report on very well. There's lots of things, lots of reasons not to put them in. But they're actually updating them, so they're not looking like this old version. They're like the look and feel, and I'm hoping the speed of the loading of them is better as well. They seem to always slowly pop in, so that's happening. But can I do a couple more that I'm really excited about?
Skip me. Go ahead.
Well, I'm giving this is a small one. I'm doing one that we're both happy about.
What is it?
It's the longest feature ever released. Listen to this feature name. This is layouts use hover links to quickly access related lists on feed-based layout detailed views.
Ooh, nice one.
Oh, so you and I have been we've used feed layouts on things that aren't just things like cases, and so tried them on.
It's kind of funny because
in
our org where we use cases, we don't use case feed, but we have a feed-based layout on a custom object.
And it has some nice ability, but one of the things it just absolutely falls on its face is it removes the quick links at the top of the page.
Unlike case feed, which leaves them just over to the left.
So this is bringing them back.
Yay.
So good. Thank you.
Mine is, I was going to talk about case feed itself so case feed and feed-based layouts are now having a more compact version of them.
Nice.
So like a compact feed-based layout, and case feed itself now has just a ton more information in a much smaller, more compact space. So you can see a lot more information, a lot more items in the feed than you could previously. Like a lot of the, particularly emails, were just very big in the feed, and you'd have to like really sift through and filter. Now you can just sort of look at the whole feed and see, oh, okay, there's an email, and sort of click on it and it expands. So nice little productivity helper for service and service console there with the case feed. I love the case feed layout. I don't know why I haven't turned it on in our org. Maybe just
because you don't deal with cases.
I do, actually. I just never turned it on. I think we should.
Better tell the people who deal with cases before you do it.
Well, I could just do it, and they just have to deal with it.
To deal with it.
Just figure out what happened happened here.
The case queue is empty for the first time in a long time, and
I got some spam this morning, so I cleaned it right out because I wanted to get rid of it.
It's so nice.
I was like, I'm doing it. I'm getting rid of that.
So everybody, if you're listening, send your emails to support@arkusinc.com.
No.
That's terrible.
You can leave a review on the App Exchange.
Yeah,
that actually creates a case in our org, oddly enough.
All right, I have one that has a little story behind it.
Okay.
So once upon a time.
You want to hear a story?
Yeah, they all said, yeah, you hear that?
Yeah, okay.
It was all screaming, yeah. So once upon a time, about a month and a half ago, maybe a month ago, I stumbled across the feature that someone was asking about. It's been out for a while, and I was like, you know what? I need to try this. We need to try this. So because you and I are usually communicating on the weekends, talking about stuff.
Is this the feature that I
listen,
don't like?
Just listen.
All right.
You're gonna love what I'm gonna tell you.
Hopefully it's a good news.
So we've talked about two-factor authentication a lot. We've talked about how Evernote does it, how Dropbox does it, how
Google,
LinkedIn, everybody does it differently. Some use your text, some use every time you log in, some use email. Anyway, there's been out for, I think, either a release or two, the ability to use two-factor authentication in Salesforce, which is a permission set you assign to people that then has, every time you log into Salesforce, you have to use your, generator, the Google Authenticator thing that generates a bunch of numbers, and you put it in. But unlike most other places, it's dumb. Like, every time you log in right now, and then log out your browser and log back in. You got to put it in
right back.
I mean, the app has made it to the front of my iPhone because
it's
I
right
have to
on the
click
top
so many times. So I went into the App Exchange and I put in a idea: add time-based settings to two-factor authentication, and it's coming.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's kind of buried in this weird section called customize and manage user authentication with login flows, which it looks like you're able to build login flows using. Yeah, so it's interesting. You can actually build flows for login and then build in code. And this is where it gets a little wiggy, but you and I are going to do this very quickly. We'll get someone to build the code to do basically. So you could do time-based. So we could say, for example, once a day, once a week.
Where's this in the release notes? Because I didn't see this.
It's called customize and manage user authentication with login flows. It's at 176, so maybe you didn't get past 175 when you were reading the notes.
I just don't. Because I security and identity enhancements. Okay, here it is.
Yeah. So you can build your own login flows. But the point of this is that it's going to answer the question that the reason we haven't rolled this out to everybody, because it's extremely annoying to have to log in. Not that you log into Salesforce a lot every day, but I probably log in 3 or 4 times a day. So if we could do this so it either processes it once a day, once a week, once a month, this would be great. So I'm excited about this feature. And I think this login flow thing, I think this is even cooler than even the feature I wanted. I wanted just to be able to say once a day, once 7 days, once 30 days. This is a little bit more customization, but I think there's some, and I didn't read too much into it. I just saw my idea and then saw the feature, but this could get cool with the login flows, doing things, right? So anyway,
it's connected to a profile though.
So
it can't be like done through permission sets. It's like a whole profile has to go through one
login flow. Anyway, I'm
Interesting
excited
that it was rolled out that way.
Yeah, but you have to write, it does say and design with Flow Designer and Apex, so it's not just click. A new Apex class that you could write a plugin for. So I think that's cool. Maybe we'll build something and throw it out in the community for everybody else to have, because two-factor with every single time is too much. Too much factoring, not enough fun. And my little idea, 40 points, only 4 votes.
Amazing.
And they're all Arkus.
Yeah. we don't. What do you mean? We don't game any systems.
We don't game the system.
Actually, I think that's encouraged.
I think it is encouraged.
Are we done? Should I do one more?
Do one more. Wait, let's
right.
see. Do I have any more? Nope. I don't have any more.
Should I do one last one?
Yeah,
so we mentioned work.com before.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We just mentioned work.com earlier in this podcast. Work.com.
Don't understand.
Okay.
Dumb it down for me, Doc.
Work.com.
Oh, work.com. Justin's not getting my humor today. It's
not even funny.
It is funny.
No one is laughing right now except for you.
I'm laughing. People are laughing with me.
People are laughing at you, and they're like, Justin, get on with it.
And Tuesday, when people are listening to this, they'll be laughing with me.
Okay.
If death stares could kill, the death stare I'm getting over this computer is...
All right. So for anyone who's ever tried to deploy a performance summary cycle before and have designed said performance summary cycle maybe a month before they wanted to deploy it, and the organization is bigger than like 5 people, you've probably added the users that you wanted to exist within that cycle to the performance summary. And when you go to click deploy, it says nuh-uh, error. Why? Because this user is no longer active.
Oof.
And it's like, oh, now I got to go remove that person and then do it all over again. It's kind of a couple of clicks to get a person out of a performance summary cycle once you got them in there. So now you can just deploy it, and it realizes and recognizes the fact that the user is inactive, and it just pulls them out of the cycle.
Nice.
So a little usability enhancement there, which goes a long way because that's a very frustrating thing. And especially if you're cloning cycles from 1 year to the next, or from 1 to like 6 months, you're doing a 6-month thing. You're just cloning it with the people in it. It's rough.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
that might make it onto the Winter 14 for Work.com
it
blog
very well
post,
could.
Which is in 5 weeks.
5 weeks from now? No, it's not 5 weeks.
It is?
No,
okay,
that's
it's
impossible.
3 weeks. Well, it's the 19th, so it's the week after that, so it's like the 25th. It's kind of like 4 weeks.
Well, there's always this one.
Yes.
There's a sales one. There's a service one. And then there's a Work.com
That's
one.
right.
So that's what you have to look forward to.
That's good.
You've got all about sales, all about service, all about Work.com.
Yeah.
Skip the permissions one this time because there wasn't like a whole lot going on with permission sets.
No. All right. Well, speaking of permissioning, I permission you to give me a CloudFocus app pick of the week.
Pick. Someone sent me a pick. I am doing awful at picks. You know what I got this week?
I don't know.
You know what I got? I got the ability to finally download my coin app.
Oh, okay.
So
you're not going to repick that, are you?
I never picked it.
Really?
Yeah, I'm mentioning it for the first time right now.
Oh, cool. Then tell us all about it.
So about a year ago,
I will download mine while you do that.
About a year ago, I purchased this thing called Coin for myself and for you and for the partner that shall remain nameless.
Nice.
I bought 3 of them. And I don't remember if it was a Kickstarter or not. I think it might have been. And anyway, they're finally rolling them out in beta. Now, the Coin is twofold. The Coin is a piece of hardware, and it is an application on your phone and on the web where you can, the piece of hardware is for loading in cards. When I say cards, I mean credit cards, loyalty cards, anything like with a magnetic strip, pretty much.
Right.
And it's one thing. So it's like one device or a piece of plastic or whatever it's going to be made out of that can hold every card that you have in your wallet.
I would say it's a digital
wallet.
It's a digital credit card.
Yeah.
But it's a multiples.
So you can have all your credit cards, all your Dwayne Reed card, your whatever else loyalty cards that you use, you can put on there. Anything that you scan,
anything that you swipe
can be on there.
Scan, not something that has an RFID in it.
Maybe not. But anything that you swipe can be in there.
So let's say credit cards.
Credit cards is the big use case, right?
Yes.
You carry 4 or 5 credit cards around.
Debit cards.
You got a couple debit cards. You throw it into the Coin. So I've got the Coin app.
I'm opening my wallet to count how many I have.
Count how many you have in there. I know I've got at least 6 cards in my wallet. So don't count out loud. So anyway, the app is now available. If you join Coin Beta, which means we'll be getting our pieces of hardware soon, and then we'll get new ones when the real Coin comes out.
Basically because they messed up.
Yeah, so beta's coming out. We're members, or at least I am, of the nationwide beta.
Yep.
And I signed up. I was able to download the app yesterday, which was great. I was able to log into it with my account that I had already created. I was able to say I want to be in the beta. It was interesting the way they did some mobile apps you have to type in a password. Some mobile apps you have to squiggle a line in a certain order, like to authenticate into the app. This one you have to tap 6 times in a pattern. So it's kind of like Morse code, like short taps or long taps, and you make up your rhythm basically. I did not load any cards onto it yet because I have not received the hardware yet, so there was no point in me loading any cards onto it. But it seemed very simple. It did the, like, let me take a picture of the card and it'll load it in there, which is pretty standard these days. And you can then manage every card on the phone that is on the hardware, the coin.
Right.
And you can sort of flip between which one's active.
I think you can do that
point. And you can do that on the coin as well.
So the idea is I'm at a restaurant. I can pull out one card. I pull out this coin card. Right. I can then click on it, go through it, flip through the little LED.
Business Amex, personal Amex,
and then
Visa,
hand it to
whatever.
the person.
Exactly.
And they go scan it.
And they're going to look at you with a weird face, and you're going to say, don't worry, go use it.
And then they're going to try 1,500 times.
And they're going to break it.
It's working at 75%, they said now.
85%.
Oh, 85%.
85%, which is why we're in the beta.
Right.
And it has location services built into it, which is where the phone comes in handy as well, because if you sort of walk away, I guess, from your coin, it says, beep, 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 hey, you're walking away from your coin. Right. Go get your coin. So that's a little safety feature built into that. So anyway, I'm picking the coin app. The app itself was free. The piece of hardware, I don't even remember how much it was because it was like a year ago when I bought it. So... should be coming in the mail sooner than later, and then we'll maybe talk a little bit more about it once we try it.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited about the possibility. I think we are on the absolute bleeding edge.
Oh, totally.
And we're gonna get cut a lot.
Because
here's the thing: when the coin comes and you get this new, so I counted, I have 7 in my or 6. So when you first get your coin, you're gonna do it. You're gonna load up you're gonna take your 6 cards. You're gonna load them all up.
Yep.
And then you're going to leave those 6 cards in your wallet, and you're going to keep your coin in there.
Totally.
For probably months.
Yeah, the coin is coming along with the cards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, for the first couple months, it's just another card.
And then you're going to get the real one.
Right.
Because you're getting, like, the beta hardware. Then you're going to get the real one, and you're going to have to reload probably. Well, if they're smart, they won't make you reload anything. They'll just let you pair it with your phone somehow. Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a cool concept.
It's a great concept. It is,
and we're gonna try it out.
It's very cool. This is bleeding edge. I saw it when it first came on Kickstarter, wherever it came, maybe Indiegogo, and I didn't back it because I was like, this is the one that I want. I kind of want them to go through 1 or 2 rounds, and then I'll jump in.
So I just bought
and
one.
You
for
got
everybody.
it for me anyway. So thank you, because I'm excited about it. I'm excited I didn't have to buy it, but I'm really excited to use it. And
I can't wait to walk into a place and hand them this futuristic
there's
thing.
Just so many issues with it. The scanning is one issue.
Yeah.
The having the cards is another issue. The trust is a third issue. The security around it. In theory, it's more secure because I think even on the card itself, you can put a
little code on it.
So it's like I could hand you my Amex and you could go swipe it and
sure.
whatever. But this, I could hand you the coin and you couldn't even use it. So the thing is, the other thing I think about this, and I feel like we talked about this on a podcast, is I also feel like the coin is just like, please buy me. Like, why isn't Amex, MasterCard, or Visa just buying them immediately? Because I have 4 Visas. If Visa came along and said...
You're going to make me pull out my wallet.
Yeah.
What do I have? I pared this down a lot.
Oh, I'm down
recently.
I'm also worried about sticking the coin into one of those like things that takes it in. Like, what if you stick it into an ATM and
I'm
it
not
doesn't
doing
spit
that.
it? You're basically saying that you're not going to take it with you.
I have 3 ATM cards, 3 debit cards, 3 separate debit cards, and 4 credit cards. They're all variety: Amex, Visa, MasterCard.
All right, since we are on a Kickstarter, I'm going to make my Kickstarter. This is both news and a pick.
Okay.
So, for those of you following me or Kickstarter or no, I'm a Kickstarter fanatic. I think I've even turned you on to being
a
Kickstarter fanatic.
No. I like Kickstarter. I don't look at it that often.
Oh, I don't ever look at it. It always gets picked up by some other piece of something, and then I link over, and then
gotcha.
But I've backed 30 things.
Like a million things.
I've backed way too many things. And some of them have been great. Some of them have been total busts. One of them actually didn't work, and the company went out of business, and I lost money.
It should go out of business if it doesn't work.
They took money and ran.
Oh, that's not right.
Yeah, that's not good. But it's part of the fun of this system. Anyway, I backed a billion things, but this one that I just backed and has now 6 hours to go, has set the new record.
Another new record?
This is the newest. This is a
But
record.
You were already on one that set a record.
That was Pebble, which my daughter now wears the Pebble.
Wasn't the Sense a record?
I don't think the Sense hit a record because this one just hit it and has 6 hours to go. So they had a $50,000 goal.
Yeah.
They have $12.7 million.
What is it? I want to look.
It's the coolest.
The coolest.
The coolest cooler.
The coolest cooler. Oh, that's the cooler.
Yeah.
Oh, you showed me that.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy that because you're buying that.
That's right. You don't need to buy it.
I don't need that.
So anyway, this podcast will come out in the next 2 hours. So you'll have, if you listen to it immediately, you'll have at least 2 hours to go in to see
lucky.
it. Search for coolest cooler.
You'll be able to buy it eventually anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true. But it'll take like a year to get into retail. Anyway, here's what it is. So this guy does this video. You got to watch all the videos because he really does a great job of explaining why you would do the coolest cooler. I actually went and looked at his profile the other day. He did one before and it failed. Like he was asking
the coolest cooler.
Yeah, he asked for $125,000 and he only got like 102.
Ooh, so close.
So this time he asked for 50 and got 12 million.
Maybe there's something to that.
Well, he changed it. Like it's fun. That's actually fun if you're interested in this type of thing in the sourcing. Like he definitely upped the game. He changed it. He put more features into it. He made the video better. It's like he learned from his mistakes of putting one out.
Yeah.
But here's what this thing is. So it's a cooler, fine. But he goes through like all the things that are like what's in a cooler and why does our coolers look like they've always looked. So here's what it has in it. 18
everything you can possibly
18
want.
volt battery power rechargeable blender, removable waterproof Bluetooth speaker,
A blender,
USB charger, LED lid light. It has a tie down so you can put gear on top of it. It has a cooler, a divider in the middle so you can have two different sides. You also have a cutting board built in, a knife built in.
Unbelievable. Who needs all this stuff?
And a bottle open right on the side.
It's a tailgater's dream.
And it has a place to put your phone.
Put your phone or charge your phone?
Both. It has a battery in it. It's a USB battery.
Charge your phone.
You can charge and a slot to put it in while it's sitting there. It's sending to the speaker.
Fantastic.
It is the coolest thing ever. It is the coolest. So anyway, $12 million. It's a new record on Kickstarter. I obviously backed it. He actually sent out the other day because the battery, he's made two big design changes to it. So it's kind of fun to watch him even while it's even going through. It's not in production yet. He's just changing it. One was he changed the way the thing was in the front. So like now it's like it pops open. So you put things in, then closes up to protect the speaker and your phone. And the other is he made the rechargeable battery. It used to be you had to plug it into something in the cooler. Now the rechargeable battery is removable. So you could bring one or two. I'm excited. I can't wait. I can't wait to have one of these, own one of these.
Just look at because it's like margaritas at a Jets game.
Yeah, baby. It's going to be awesome. Anyway, the coolest, it's literally 6 hours to go, $12 million. Go back in.
When do we get this thing?
February.
He's missing the football season.
He is.
He didn't time that very well.
Yes.
I mean, I guess he can't complain. He did set a record on Kickstarter, so.
Yeah. I think my favorite is the LED lights inside of it. Like when you open the cooler for at night, it's just awesome.
That's something special, right?
Anyway,
there.
So awesome. Speaking of awesome, we'll come back next week with another awesome podcast. We might have some Dreamforce 14 podcasting news by then. I'm hoping,
maybe.
Safe harbor. And I think we're now kicking into our Winter 14 releases, blogging.
Yep, that's the series. It's coming.
So check on blog.arkusinc.com. Check in the success community. Follow at Just Edelstein. Follow at Jason M. Atwood. Follow at Arkus Inc. We're on Facebook. We're on the iTunes. We're on Stitcher. Thank you if you for those of you who know who you are who have added in Stitcher reviews. So putting our reviews on Stitcher, which is great. We also love them on iTunes. We really appreciate it. We're also on LinkedIn, Google+, and everywhere else in the world. We'll be back next week with another episode. This is Justin and Jason saying enjoy those cloudy